Now, farming in Growtopia is probably the most common thing people do. I wanted to know, what's the most efficient way to farm? Now, everybody's seen videos about what's the best way to farm, what's the best farming methods, what items are best to farm, what items are best to farm with. So I sat down and truly tested what are the best ways to farm, what are the best items to farm, and what are the best items to farm with. Let's start out talking about what is the best farmables in the game. The top 3 contenders are probably pepper, laser grid, and chandeliers. Now, most people know chandeliers is the best farmable, but in my opinion it's really not. To be honest, laser grid is probably the best. The gems that drop when breaking them are almost identical to chandeliers. Laser grid drops between 0 and 18 gems, and chandelier drops between 0 and 22. Another benefit to laser grid is it takes less hits to break. Laser grid by itself takes 5 hits to break, while chandelier takes 7. Now obviously, break time is important because it's going to speed up how fast you can farm. Along with those two, laser grid has a significant decrease in grow time than chandelier does. The grow time on laser grid is 3 days and 15 hours, but the grow time on chandelier is a week. What that means is you can essentially break your laser grid farm twice before you can break your chandelier farm once. Now, the one thing that chandelier does have is the cost of seeds per world lock. To buy chandelier seeds, it usually costs around 9 per world lock, while laser grid is usually between 25 for a world lock. But if you factor in the time to grow for chandeliers and laser grid is still better to use. Chandelier is a higher return rate for seeds when broken, so even though chandelier sells for more, you're gonna get more out of harvesting your laser grids. And the main reason I mentioned pepper is because a lot of people are using it to recycle, because it's one of the only farmables you can recycle for gems, and it usually gives you more gems than it would if you were to go buy gems with pure world locks. It's also really easy, cheap farmable to get your hands on, so it's definitely not a bad option if you want to stay on the cheaper end. But in this video, I'm going to focus on laser grid because to me, it really is the best farmable in the game. The best farms to buy are honestly just dirt farms. Usually you can find them between 5 and 6 world locks, so it's really inexpensive to get multiple of them. Now once you get your farms, it's going to be a very basic farm, it's going to be very simple, it's just going to be a dirt farm. It looks like any other dirt farm you've ever seen, but I have found a really good method of speeding that up, and you basically can just AFK farm. A little disclaimer, Growtopia is kind of weird with the rules about botting, so if you are going to farm this AFK, I do not recommend it. I would definitely stay at your computer and be active while using this, just to avoid a possible ban with you AFK. Now with this farm, as you can see, you really just need lava and water. Now right here you can see me using the farm. Obviously this is a really small example, but it definitely helps prove the point. Now for each full dirt farm, you're going to roughly need about 2,700, 2,600 seeds, so I'd recommend getting that range of seeds. Now once you plant all of your seeds, they're all grown up, they're all ready to harvest. Now there's a good list of items that you'll need. Well, I guess not really need, but I definitely recommend you buying them. Now to harvest this specific farm, you are going to need a tractor or the Harvester of Sorrows. Either one will work. Along with that, you'll need a slippery chemical coat. Now I know these items can come out to be kind of expensive, but on the low end, you can really just make a dirt farm with a pickaxe and harvest it just the same. Now do I recommend you get these items? Of course, they're going to make your harvesting extremely fast and efficient, but realistically you don't need these items. Along the lines of harvesting your seeds, another item I recommend, it's definitely a dream catcher staff. The staff has a chance to drop more items when you break seeds, so it's definitely a good thing to have when you're harvesting your seeds. Now to finish up your harvesting set, I really recommend you get some sort of ancestral item, whether it's the yellow one or the red one. It really doesn't matter, it just really depends what you're going for. The ancestral totem of wisdom or the yellow one is going to help you get maximum XP when you're harvesting your seeds. So if you're someone that wants to try to level up while doing this, that's definitely a good option. And if you're someone that wants to go for more gems, the red ancestral item is going to be a much better option for you. Alright, so perfect. You have your harvesting set, you harvested all your seeds, now you're not sure what to do with them. Again, at the higher end, there's different options in the lower end. You have a lot of world locks, you've been doing this for a while. The best option is to make a BFG, but obviously most people can't afford that. If you're unable to make a BFG, the best option is to get a couple friends, place it on a small lock, turn it to public, and just sit and break together. Now one thing I will say, you really should have a Beacon of Gaia or Gaia, and you definitely should have an unstable tesseract for this. The reason I say that is because you don't want to miss out on any seeds or blocks being dropped when harvesting. For items I recommend when you're breaking, obviously a pickaxe is always a good option. It doesn't matter what pickaxe it is, as long as it has a faster break time. Another item is the shoulder cannon. This is also a great item for this. It's going to help you speed up your break time as well. Now there's another item you want to be using, like using a Geiger counter while doing this so you can charge it. Another good item is the Mad Hatter. This also has a pickaxe effect. so if you don't need to have something in your hands to break faster. Now let's talk about the expensive end. To maximize your harvest time, a Rayman's Fist is going to speed your time significantly. Obviously it breaks items extremely fast, it breaks 3 items instead of 1 at a time. Even though while using Rayman I still recommend the Shoulder Cannon and the Mad Hatter, again, giving pickaxe effects and helping you break it extremely fast. But also using the blue ancestral item just because it has a higher chance to give you extra blocks. In addition to those items, I recommend the Blockhead. It does the same thing as the blue ancestral item. It gives you extra chance of blocks, which both of those together equal out a pretty good chance of getting an extra item while breaking. For the Cape or Wings, I definitely recommend you using the Cosmic Cape. It gives you a very small chance of getting some common dust while breaking things, which is definitely just something else you can get for income. Now during breaking, you have a really big decision to make. Do you want the gems for yourself, or do you want to sell your gems? If you want to sell your gems, you're going to have to move all of your items to another world where you can sell the gems in. And you're also going to need the items I talked about earlier, so you're able to pick up all the blocks and seeds so you don't leave any dropped on the ground. Along with that, you're going to have to rent or buy a scanner, just because you need to know exactly how many gems are there when you go to sell them. That's the bulk of the things you need for breaking your items. Now let's talk about replanting. This is obviously the easiest step. It really doesn't take a lot of work. Now if you're using the design I showed in the beginning, the only extra item you need is the chicken plow. This is going to automatically plant the seeds for you. But on the other hand, if you're using a regular dirt farm, you can just place it by hand. It's not going to matter that much. Now when planting your seeds, and if you're using the chicken plow, definitely use the slimy coat again, just because you're going to need that for when you're using the automatic farm. But realistically, that's all you really need to do the farm. And now once you're done planting the farm, you're going to see that you have extra seeds left over. Now you might be asking, what do I do with these seeds? Now if you have one farm, the best thing really to do is to save those seeds and start making a second farm until you have a good amount of farms you're doing this with, which at that point you can just start selling the seeds in a vending machine, and every seed you get after that is just profit. So there it is. That is the best way to farm in Growtopia. Now it comes down to the question, is it profitable? Of course it's profitable. Now is it worth your time? That's really something you have to answer for yourself. To me, I say it is, because using this method you can break your stuff pretty quickly, especially if you have a BFG. You can really just put the items in the mag plant and just let everyone else do the work. But if you're just a normal farmer like everybody else, it may take you a while to end up doing all of this, but if you're grinding for gems, this really is the best method of farming for gems. Now if you guys made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate you guys. You guys did amazing on my last video. Currently, while recording this video, it is at 1,700 views, and I'm at 118 subscribers, which is amazing. You guys blew up my last video. Considering it's my first Growtopia video for the channel, I really appreciate it. Along with that, my Twitch has been going amazing. You guys have been supporting me like crazy over there. If you guys are already following or subscribing to either of the channels, definitely go check it out. I stream every once in a while, usually on Fridays. And you guys can definitely catch me at different events and different worlds. If you guys are followers of the Growtopia official Twitch, you guys might have seen me there the other day, and you might see me again in the future.
Say that. Even on the stream.
Bye, full show.
Bye, for sure.
For show. For show. For show.
It's like for sure.
It's like
For sure.
If you guys want to find me in game, you can find me at the World 4 AMT or Foes BFG. Now thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it so much, and hope to see you guys in another video.